Wanted to start this video off by thanking everybody that participated in the comments of last week's video. We had a lot of people chime in on what they thought I should charge or what they were willing to pay. The range was all over the board. I think on the low end we were right around $100. I think someone even said $75. On the high end we were at $475, with the bulk of them coming in between $275 and I want to say $325. One of my favorite comments of last week was some guy who said he wouldn't drive by your house and wave for $125. I got a kick out of that one. What he meant by that is that there's no way that you're going to find someone to do that work for as little as $125. You're probably wondering what I'm going to charge, and I'm only charging $200 to this specific customer. It is, I know it's worth more to them, but they just don't have the extra funds, and I think that's just the best price to keep the cycle going of referrals and me coming back. You know, I don't want them to think, hey, you know what, would love to keep you, but we just can't afford your prices. This job only took me about 35 minutes from the time that I got to their house to the time that I started my truck and was pulling away. I did have my drive time, and I did go into Home Depot and get the new Union, but it was real easy, and I didn't have to get out, you know, all my tools or anything. So I think $200 is fair for both me and the customer, and most importantly, gets those referrals coming in and keeps me going back to do more work for this rental. I want to show off my latest project. This is still a work in progress. I've got the other frame over there. This is going to be pretty unique to the barn door building community, as most barn doors are just this, a nice face frame and the tongue and groove. But there is no backside. The backside just looks real simple. It's just that, which I don't think looks very finished. Now, if it's just going to be in a pantry or a small clothes closet, that would be fine, but this is going into a large master bedroom, so I'm doing face frames on both the front and back. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, this is the tool that you've been seeing me use, and you saw me work on that lathe over there. This is how it got turned down to fit the drill, and this is my handle, and there's a bearing in there, and every inch of both sides of this door I use this wheel on. If you're curious of what I'm talking about, you can follow me on Instagram to see how it's not really a build video, but there were several videos and pictures that showed the progression of how I built this thing. The video that you're going to watch today is of me repairing a door that a mother kicked in. So the story goes, I get a call. She says, Mr. Handyman, can you come over today and fix my son's bedroom door? I had to kick it in. I said, sure, I'll be right over. And I wasn't sure what I was getting into, if the whole door was off the hinges, if the jamb was broken out, or what. I was planning on having to replace the jamb leg, and you'll see in the video what happens. As you can see, this is not a real wood door jamb. It's just that particle board that blew out when she kicked it in. I reinstalled the door strike with 2.5-inch screws. This powdered putty mix is great for keeping in my trailer all year round because it won't freeze. And I've had it for probably 2 years. So it doesn't go bad, it doesn't harden up, and it works great. I'm just making a little bit of a mess here. Don't worry, I cleaned it all up once I got it mixed. Just today someone asked me what gauge nail guns I have and where do I use them. So in this application I'm using both a 16 gauge and an 18 gauge. So right there I just used a 16 gauge on the right side, and now I'm using an 18 gauge on the left side. The right side of this piece of trim was shot into a stud, and the left side was shot into the existing door jamb. So you can see this doorknob, which has the lock, does not have the button or anything. But you go over to this closet and it does have access for a little key. But this is just a passage. So what happened when this house was flipped was that the guy was putting in all these doors knobs at the same time and got this knob here without the little hole mixed up with this one here. I can even see that the lighting is kind of bad, and mixed up with this one. So what I'm going to try to do is just swap this side with this side so that this thing works. As you can see from the video, this was a real simple repair. Just use that water putty, and I've used that for years. You get that big can and it'll last you forever. It gets as hard as wood and is a real easy to repair. Something that you may not have noticed is that the screws that went into the latch or the door catch were extra long. They went through the fiberboard and into, I'm not sure how long they were. They're probably 2.5 inches. So the catch, or the strike plate, is in there solid, and then just filled it in with the water putty. I was able to reuse the door casing and just kind of caulked it in and used the paint that they had on hand to recut that in, and it was as good as new. Now for this project, it's kind of hard to charge someone for something so simple. And I think someone in several videos back had brought up, you know, someone wanted me to switch out the cabinet pulls on their kitchen cabinets. The holes were all already drilled, the screws were there, all I had to do was unscrew one and screw on another, and it was so simple. They just felt kind of guilty charging them for such a remedial task. Kind of felt the same way with this one. I mean, there was a little bit of skill in there, but not much. Again, I was there under an hour, but you have to charge a minimum, and my minimum charge for this person at this day and time was $125. I have a long history with this customer, spanning several houses. I even built an addition for them on their previous home. They referred me out, so I got to keep that in mind when they need something. And they needed a handyman, and they needed it that day, right then and there. Well, that's it for this video. Coming in February, I think I'm going to try to increase the amount of videos that I put out. My hard drives are getting full of videos that have not been edited and uploaded yet. I got them all in folders ready to edit, but I just haven't gotten. So that's going to change in February. Look for more videos and make sure you click that bell. It's supposed to notify you. Most YouTubers say it doesn't work. That's why I've been encouraging you to follow me on Instagram, so that you'll get an Instagram notification when I am putting out a video. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if this is the first time you've ever seen me. Go watch some of my other videos. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. Goodbye.